Hey, it's been a long time since I've made a video, but I thought that the recent events in California has really inspired me to actually say something. And this is how I see it. And I get to say how I see it and how I feel and what I think because I've served in the military. No, and I have a right to express my thoughts and feelings. And I'm definitely concerned, and I'm sure that there are millions and millions of other people that have the same concerns as me. And what's been going on in the recent 4 years has been ridiculous. I don't. I've seen very little professionalism, in our politics. It's like high school arguing in the media, the way that it's all portrayed. I don't really see actual people working except for like the firefighters. They're out there doing their job and doing it really well. And we can see that and we trust them to do that really well. But then we don't see any of the actual work. I just hear people talking about, I'm going to do this or we're going to do that and this is what we want to do. But then nothing ever really seems to get done. They just see more problems happen. The fires, like that many fires in all of those conditions, it just, in such a close proximity, it just makes one wonder how intentional that could possibly be. It doesn't seem to me like these fires were accidents or a natural disaster. It seems more like somebody intentionally started a fire or accidentally started a fire. It spread out of control. And the reason it got so out of control is not just because of the wind, but because of mismanagement. All of these conditions were present for a major disaster to happen. You got your fuel, you got your wind, you got all the elements put together in one place, and it is so likely, I'd say like 99% likely that we're going to have a major fire. The conditions were perfect for it, and it's been on the news saying, yeah, these conditions are perfect for a major wildfire, and then we have a major wildfire. And the first thing that you're hearing from the governor of California is, we're going to rebuild. Oh, we're rebuilding. Almost excited to say, we're rebuilding. As if almost saying that was the goal in the first place. The whole point of it's like, yay, there was a fire. It all got leveled. Thank God it was, because now we get to rebuild. They're looking at this horrible disaster as an opportunity already. Like, oh, we're so sad. People lost their homes. I know it's hard. We'll give you some money and stuff, whatever. But look at the bright side. We get to rebuild. It's like, no, they lost everything, and it's absolutely devastating. And it doesn't seem like they really care. That they're more important as in their global partnerships with leaders of other countries that are not pro-American or for this country. That they hate capitalism. They hate nationalism. You know who I'm talking about. And they wouldn't be so upset. I don't think those people are really that upset about the big fire burning it all down. No, there were people that were happy when they heard that there was an assassination attempt. And I saw a lot of comments of people saying, darn, they missed. And that's horrible. I think those same people right now are going, yay, it all burned to the ground. You expose all of them. The ones that are rejoicing over destruction. It's terrible. This godless. No compassion and empathy. They represent God. And those that don't care about empathy or compassion, they don't care about any of those good things. And these are ones that, that are trying to stop progress for all the people, for their own personal, individualistic goals. It's so selfish. And I don't think that's what this country even represents. It's not why we have a constitution. All these military members and firefighters and people who risk their lives to save others are not doing it just so somebody else can just be selfish and greedy. You have a right to to work hard and earn and have really nice stuff and be a multi-millionaire, billionaire if you wanted to be, or you don't have to be. As long as you get to be happy in the pursuit of happiness. You don't need $1 million to be happy. You need your family in your life. You need your shelter, you need food, and you need water. These essential things, as long as you got that, it's all good. The rest of the stuff is just stuff. But then somebody destroys it. I think there is a righteous indignation, feeling angry. That would be a healthy emotion. You're angry when somebody comes and destroys something intentionally, or rejoices over you losing something. It's horrible. Now that's what I think about Gavin Newsom and the mayor and Joe Biden and a lot of the liberal Democrats, whatever they call themselves. They're in it for a bigger picture, for their own selves and their own legacy, saying we are the ones that are doing all this, and they want the praise. They want to be worshipped like kings and queens and gods. But I know that what I worship is peace and love, mercy, grace, kindness, forgiveness, hospitality. Those things, those are treasures. We all want peace. We all worship it. That's what we want, to be happy and at peace in our lives. And the enemy is anything that's causing someone to want to destroy, to want to be destructive. The lies and the deceit. It's horrible. People's hearts and minds are infected with pain and suffering, and then they act out in the pain and suffering and go and hurt others as thinking that that's justice. That just, if you like Hitler. He wanted, people were trying to protect the Jews, and Hitler went and killed all the Jews and fought everybody because he wanted to win, and calling himself a prophet. And I see that same kind of behavior. It wasn't that long ago that there was these major world leaders doing horrible, terrible things. And to think that isn't possible here in the United States, that there aren't people that are in office right now that have the same kind of agenda as these horrible, terrible people from World War I and II. Nope. Because the whole World War III is beginning right now, and we really need to have the right people in office to get this stuff under control, or everybody's going to lose everything. It's going to be a huge disaster, bigger than the LA fires. It's hard to think about having goals for the future, having a dream and being excited about doing the work to obtain that goal when there's actively people in the government changing things so that that's not even possible. Basically setting restrictions, saying your only goal is to do what I want you to do, and if you don't do what I want you to do, you're going to pay and suffer. Nobody gets to have their choice anymore. You got some bloated, or what's it called, puffed up person in office that's calling the shots saying this is what I'm going to have all the people do, trying to rule like a king instead of a democracy and republic where people get to make their own choices and live the life that they choose, which what makes this a great country. Those that are standing in the way of being successful, forcing you to work to provide somebody else's success, like that's nobody wants to participate in that. Like, I'm just going to work for you. I'm not going to get anything out of it, all through your glory. I refuse to bow down and worship selfish leaders. And I think Donald Trump is really getting in office so that he can help people have those hopes and dreams and maintain that chance. We can still be a great nation, not this one world ideology that's ruled by people that don't even go here. Like in my house, like you don't live in my house. Nobody comes into my home to tell me how I'm supposed to live and think and talk inside my house. Same thing in this country. Other people from other countries, you deal with your space. You stay in your house, you set your own rules. But once you start crossing boundaries and telling other people how they're supposed to live their lives, that's infringing on other people's rights. And we got millions of people who fought and died and bled to protect those rights, and anybody that is threatening to take those rights away is just disrespecting everyone who died, all the veterans, service members, men and women and children, these lives that fought for freedom and liberty, being destroyed by those claiming that they're the party of liberty and freedom, trying to end the U.S. Constitution and supporting Hamas and Hezbollah, the ones that are hating Israel. It's that group of people. And it is provoked by the media. If we didn't have this social media stuff, all of this provocation of fighting and arguing and political ideologies, it wouldn't be there. We'd still be communicating in our small local communities and supporting our local stuff instead of having such a mass audience pushing all these different crazy radical goals. We're going to change the world and make men can now be women and women can now be men, because we feel like saying it's like, fine, you think you're a woman, that's fine, but I don't have to believe that. You can't force people to believe your beliefs and just go along with it and then say that they're evil because they don't believe what you believe. But you don't believe what I believe, but I'm not going to attack you for it. But there's a big group of people that are making laws trying to say like, oh no, you will. And they put it in schools and teach the children to start doing that. They take the children away from their parents and go in the schools, the Department of Education, pushing an ideology. When parents don't want their kids being taught that stuff. The people of the United States don't want their kids being indoctrinated. And then the government's just saying, screw the parents, we're going to do it anyway. And when you have the 14th Amendment protects their rights, and they're just completely disregarding the Constitution and doing it anyway. It's like they know that they're breaking the law and being unconstitutional and don't care. They're just going to do it anyway until they're stopped, hoping that once they got it started, it's not going to stop. And like a wildfire, they start problems. It was bad, but ultimately their goal is they're going to get. Like, they're the people that believe the ends justify the means. So they'll do whatever it takes to get what they want, instead of just doing good things and being happy with the results. If I did one good thing and then another good thing, the end results are going to be good. I was like, I'll just do a whole bunch of terrible things as long as I get the things. Like, I think the means justify the ends, not the ends justifying the means. When you're sleeping on the road, on the street, and you got nothing, no, that's the ends, and it's terrible. This destroying entire neighborhoods with fire, that's a result nobody wants. Somebody started a fire and burned down everybody else's house, then they need to burn down their own home. If they wouldn't, they're not doing that to their own community. Definitely the ones that are in charge, their houses and their livelihoods, and they're not at risk. But other people's have been destroyed. So look at the leaders. Their homes aren't being burned down. That's just my thoughts. It's a horrible feeling. You can't trust your own government. And things are getting so much more and more expensive. And you're just fighting every day to survive. It's not the way that it was, but it's become like that. And it's my hope that we don't have to live like that anymore. That we can all be at home and relax at peace without worrying that someone's going to start a fire and burn the whole neighborhood down.